This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, welcome to this night's session of our MS group. I will go ahead and kick it off. I'm Kim. I am from Des Moines, Iowa. I am, however, in Rochester, Minnesota, so I'm Minnesotan tonight. And since I'm in the hotel, I'm dialing in on my phone because I have crappy internet. I'm on Ocrevus. I have relapsing remitting. And I'm throwing a party on Sunday to celebrate my 10-year MS diagnosis. So, who is next? Victoria, go ahead and introduce yourself. Did you need any time tonight?
I'm Victoria from San Jose, California. I was diagnosed in '97 with relapsing remitting MS. And that was great till about 7 years ago. My right side kind of got funky on me. And I'm not on any medicine, and I don't think I need time to talk. Maybe, I don't know. Thank you.
Welcome. Jennifer, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm from Richmond, Indiana. I have relapse remitting. I take Aubagio. It's my year anniversary. I got a card saying happy year. Yay. And let's see, I was diagnosed in April of 2019.
Did you need time tonight, Jennifer?
I do have to share something, so whenever.
Okay, great. Michael, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Mike Pettipool from Bricktown, Tubac, Arizona, and thanks to Rick, I'm here. I've had relapsing remitting MS since I was diagnosed in '97. I was on Paxone, but now I'm old enough I can go off of it. And I guess I have relapsing, remitting, secondary progressive. So I'm just waiting for things to happen.
Did you need any time tonight, Michael?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, Frank, go ahead and introduce yourself.
In Plainville, Kansas. I was diagnosed in 1997. Seems to be a popular time here tonight. I have secondary progressive MS. I'm on Sunshine. And Jennifer, I had my birthday on Saturday. I got a feeling I'm a few years longer than yours, but I had it. I did get my warranty extended for at least another year. That's what they say anyway. So I have no need to speak tonight, Kim.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Frank. The other Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Mike. Let's see, I'm in Denver, Colorado. Diagnosed in 2010, relapsing remitting. I'm on Tecfidera, and I don't need any time.
Okay, thanks, Mike. John, want to introduce yourself?
Well, I suppose I can, so I will. Sorry, I've got a sore throat. I worked this evening, so I just got off a 2-hour call with Zeposia, which is the medicine I take. And I'm John from Big Rapids, Michigan. I was diagnosed in 2016, but because I just want to kind of relate with Frank a bit, I graduated high school in 1997. Just so we have that date in common. I have RRMS, and Kim, I need maybe 1 or 2 sentences tonight.
Oh, thank you so much, John. And Andrea, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. I was diagnosed in 2012 with relapsing MS. I am on Bafirtam, and I don't need time.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Amina, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amina Grant, and I'm a native New Yorker. I'm currently living in Hudson, Florida, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis October of 2010. I don't currently know what type of MS I have, but I'm probably within the next year going to know what type I have. And I'm currently not on any MS medication, but I do take pain medicine. I can't believe I just forgot. Hold on. Oh, I take Gabapentin. Yeah, and also a muscle relaxer, but I'm not taking anything for MS currently.
Did you need any time tonight, Amina?
Oh, maybe a couple of minutes.
Maybe. Okay, I'll put you
Yeah.
down. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, Louie is driving, so I'm going to have him introduce right now because he has a moment that he can talk.
Oh yeah, hi guys. I just got my vehicle, so I'm not moving yet. But yeah, I'm Louie. I'm on Ocrevus relapse remitting. I was diagnosed November 30th of 2021, and I'm good tonight. Yeah.
Don't need anything? Okay. Let's go back to Tim. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim. Diagnosed in 2021, March the 19th. I am on the world famous drug Aubagio. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. Let's hear it loud and proud. Absolutely. Best drug out there. Best named drug out there. I am not a salesman for them, but I probably should be. Let's see here. I am on. I'm also on a muscle relaxant, carbenzapine, which is not really working too hot for me. So I need to get in contact with my pain manager. I have CIS, which is clinically isolated syndrome. So I'm everybody's little redheaded stepchild in terms of the MS world. And yeah, I'll take a few minutes at the end to chit chat. But other than that, lovely day here in Fredericksburg.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Karen, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I was listening to everybody's intro, but my computer always has trouble getting copacetic with this program. And I'm in Oakland, California, and I've had symptoms for 20-something years and got diagnosed in 2019 with primary progressive, and it's progressing in a bad way. It sounds like such a good thing. It's progressing.
Did you need time tonight, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay. And Carmen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Carmen from Canada, and I've missed a few weeks just because I was sick with COVID and then COVID again. Anyway, went on the antivirals because I'm on Ocrevus. I have primary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 2014, and yeah, I too am progressing, sadly, and but I'm just trying to stay strong and do the best I can. And I'm good for time unless, well, I'm not guaranteeing I won't speak, but I don't need any set time. Nice to be back. See you guys all.
I'm glad you're here after you're having your fun times with COVID there. It sounds like you were getting pretty cozy with the COVID. And last but not least is Christy. Christy, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Christy. I am from Brighton, Colorado. Was diagnosed in 2003. I am currently on Ocrevus. Let's see here. We're waiting for MRIs to come back. I have my MRI and another MRI on the 18th so that my neurologist can properly diagnose me. But she says that it's pretty much sounding like active secondary progressive, but we'll be able to get a better idea when she gets my scans back.
Did you need time tonight?
I don't think so. I think I'm okay. I'll hop in if it'll be short if I do.
Okay, I think I got everybody for introduction, so let's swing back to Jennifer. What would you like to talk about?
Or you guys start with me first.
I can skip to someone else if you don't want to start out first. It's up to you.
I could do it. Okay. So Saturday was our Out of the Darkness walk. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. It's through AFSP, which is American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And that foundation means a lot to me. And I was able to help this year because I've done it by myself for a few years, but then 2019 I got sick and I just couldn't do it anymore. And they were so nice during that dark time where they sent me a card and just a plaque and just they were so nice and reached out. Anywho, so we had our walk Saturday and I shared the flyers for AnCan because I really, really think it's really important to have support because of the support group. It helps a lot of which a lot of people took those flyers that I had. So I was really stoked about it. So that's all. It was such a beautiful day and wonderful walk, and it turned out wonderfully. So that's all.
Nice weather is always awesome when you have an event like that. Hopefully they'll come on to AnCan and check it out.
So I do want to say, I just want to pop back to say something. First of all, a huge thank you to Jennifer for doing that. Really appreciate it. And secondly, it seems like every month we are more and more aware of how important mental health programming is. And at AnCan, we're doing a bunch of things to support mental health programming just on a general basis. I mean, one of the best things we've done, which many of you know about, is the art program, which has made a huge difference for a lot of people. I'm very sad to have to report that one of your art program people passed away on Sunday, George Denyon, the older gent, who was just a great guy and discovered at the age of 82 that he was able to be an artist. But it's so rewarding that we can have that impact. And we just plan to do more art program, more mental health programming. And I think we've got a men's group that we are opening up to. It has been in the past just for cancer, but I think we're going to open that up to anybody. And it's a really great group. We talk about everything except treatment in that group. So I just want to let you know that it's very much on our radar. The other thing we have is we initiated, and we do have a suicide policy or protocol for our moderators. And at some point in the next month or two, we're going to have a meeting with all the moderators from all the different groups just to go through that. It's sad that we have to do that, but we see it as being necessary. And so more power to you, Jennifer, for doing what you're doing. And if anybody has any other ideas on mental health programming, please reach out to Alexa or to myself, and we promise you, or Hannah, and we'll be responsive.
John, did you want to talk about what you wanted to talk about tonight?
Ooh, me?
Mhm.
All right, cool. Um, so I have a physical therapy appointment to be fitted for a wheelchair. All right, or to find out what I really need. Cool. Let's find out what I really need. But holy shit, did I have to call this person and that person and then the other person? I actually had to answer my phone a couple times. Like, how weird is that to actually answer your phone anymore? Um, but I have an appointment coming up. I'm about it because if they say like a power chair, I'm not emotionally ready for that. But I know that it'll be the best thing for me if they say it is because I'll be able to be active. Like I can get out of the house by myself right now, but man, is it hard to get in. Um, so we'll see. And for sure, I will name it if I get, a power chair, because I know that Karen will want me to name it. But hopefully, I'll fit in a nice manual chair that's lighter weight than the 65 pounds that my wife is pushing me up and around in. So it's a bittersweet appointment, but it's got to happen. And thank you for everyone for showing up tonight. And I know that I'm maybe being a bit of a downer and crying things. Thanks, Carmen. Um, it's just a lot right now, you know. Um, and I have a really great new symptom: the night sweats. Um, I have sweat through the mattress. Um, so now the only way that we prevent further damage is we put a shower curtain down between like my sheet and the rest of the bed. So now when I have a really really bad night, I'll wake up in like a pool of sweat because it gets so hot in in my bedroom. I've tried all the things that the Google machine tells me to do. It's 66 in our house at night. Like I wake up and take the blankets off and then I'm freezing, you know? Um, and then it's just it sucks. That's the best way I can say it. It sucks to wake up and know that you're ruining a mattress or that now Melissa, who's so busy anyways with being a college professor, but she always has to wash something for me once a day from the sweat. And I kind of hate that. So I just needed to vent and say that there's a new thing in my life that is gross and kind of dehumanizing in the fact that I wake up in a pool of my own bodily fluids and I get rashes all the time. Like we do a clean with wipes before bed, before out of bed. Still at night, man, I can't cool off, you know? Has anyone ever experienced that kind of thing and have any
Hey,
suggestions on stuff?
John, I'm right there with you. I, you know, the only thing I can say is put a mattress pad on your mattress, protect the mattress, and
Yeah.
be prepared to change it now and then. Uh,
I will sometimes take like like those freezer packs for coolers and put that underneath my pillow, and then when I start to get hot, I flip my pillow over.
There's nothing better than the cool side of the pillow, is there?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
I see Amina knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I might do that. And Frank, we have one of those waterproof mattress covers that isn't like I could spit on it and it would get all the way through. It doesn't prevent shit, you know. Like I
So
feel like I just need
there's
like
some things that you can do to clean the mattress too, like just sprinkle baking soda on it and just rub it in, let it sit, and then just vacuum it off, and
that's
then
what
spray it with like just alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
okay. Melissa's done the baking soda thing, but never the alcohol part.
That's sort of a sanitizing step, and the
I
alcohol evaporates very quickly.
That's a really good idea. Thank you. I will let Melissa know.
Yeah.
So
John,
I've
your
got
mic is low. Is am I the only one? Like your mic is low? No?
Am I loud and
Yes? I don't
clear?
know what this means.
Hi. Karen, how do I sound to you now?
You
The
are
mic,
kind of quiet. I've had to turn
it's
up the volume
quiet,
while
and
you're
so then
speaking.
I turn you up, and then someone else comes on.
And then I talk really loud. Yeah.
No, you
I,
don't. I mean, no, it's
I'm
John, and I want to hear I want to hear all your
yeah.
quippy comments.
I
I
can't
uh
hear him either.
I so I don't know how many of you guys know, but I work for Zeposia. Like I work with my main drug. And so I just had like an outreach program right before this. So my throat's sore and my microphone has weird settings for being in their, virtual meeting. But yeah, that PT meeting. Um, the only amazing part about that is the best Mexican in the world ever is like across the street from that hospital. So at least I'll have some good food. Eat a burrito in the car. Um, for all of us old rock and rollers, they have a memorial for Kiss, the time that Kiss came to Cadillac, Michigan, and played at Homecoming. So at least the trip will be fun. The results may or may not be fun, but it'll be good. So thanks everyone for listening. Sorry if I took up too much time. I just had to get some stuffs out.
And
Well,
I don't know how much.
I was
Sorry.
just gonna say, you're gonna be so relieved once you get that power wheelchair. It's
Yeah.
gonna be so liberating for you. Um, Me myself, I'm still waiting for my custom wheelchair. Good news though, they're supposed to deliver on the 20th of this month, huh? But we'll see.
It was the spinners and the curb feelers, all the extra stuff that you ordered on top of it. Who needs 3 cup holders on their chair? Christy.
Well,
Yeah,
I am a girl. I'm very high maintenance. Just saying.
you know what? Very fair.
Then John, if you when you get the wheelchair, it's like, what about transporting?
We do have a trailer hitch, and so we'd be able to transport it that way.
That's good.
If not, I saw
So
another
you mean
cab.
you'll get like you'll put the chair in the back and you could still transfer to the car seat?
Yes, yeah. I mean, like honestly, I'm still able to take steps while holding on to like the door. Like not holding on to anything supporting, but just balance stuff. So,
Yeah.
or
Well, in
the I could get off the cart, get into the car, and there's like a remote control, or like Melissa could park it where it needs to go.
And right now, my husband is shopping around for a wheelchair vehicle
Cool.
because I can't take any steps.
Nice.
So he's trying to find some because he literally has to pick me up and put me in our SUV and then help me get down from the SUV back to the wheelchair.
I
And
gotcha. I understand.
yeah, so we've been looking around for one, and of course, they're not cheap.
No. There.
Even
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say even used ones are like 70,000.
Yeah. I
It's
saw someone on Saturday for 15,000, and it just was basically a minivan that had a ramp that went into it.
mm-hmm.
So that 45-degree angle that we can all easily roll up or walk up. Makes me not wonder as much why they're selling the van.
Right.
Let's win the lotto, and then we'll get some good vans for us. We'll all get on whatever treatment like Jack Osborne is on, because he's like asymptomatic and he's had it for like 6 years. That money, that good treatment.
We need to get Rick to get Oprah to come visit her, have her give us all vans.
And you get a ramp, and you get a ramp. If you check under your chairs, you'll find a minivan for you if you check under your chairs.
Or how about you just get a full handicapped accessible house and vehicle and everything you need. Boom, done.
Infinity pool with a lift to help us all in. Catering or whatever.
Maids.
Yep.
Yes.
That would be worth it right there.
A
Yeah.
barista.
Ooh.
Sounds like I'm
I
going
don't
back to
drink
the Air
coffee.
Force.
Don't forget the
I did.
masseuse.
I did want to say, John, there was a couple things I wanted to ask you. First of all, I know any women in the room that's done, I'm perimenopause or has gone through menopause. We all know about the sweating issues. One thing that helped me really big was changing my sheets. Everyone has their type they liked. Bamboo for some reason for me. That sheet, it felt like with the ceiling fan above me, like would penetrate through, and that helped a lot for me. And then the other question I had for you, I actually have a friend here in Des Moines who has MS, who was a physical therapist, and her last job she had as a physical therapist was fitting people for wheelchairs.
Okay.
Would you be interested in me reaching out to her for you?
That is what I'm actually going to next week. It's a physical therapist who is dedicated to fitting wheelchairs. That's all that she does. So yeah, you've got my number. Go ahead. That's not a problem. I'd probably ask her a ton of questions, of course. Like
that's something I kind of want her to help put you at ease on what they're doing. And I think one thing I'm guessing what she would say is they want you in a chair. To my knowledge, and people who are using wheelchairs here have a better idea than I do, that they usually only pay for a wheelchair every so many years. So they want to get you the best one for your current needs, so you don't. Yep. I could be completely wrong. Frank would know. I don't, but I know that there are some stipulations.
Every 5 years. I think that's what Frank's indicating.
Or motorized.
Yeah.
Motorized
unless you need a change. It's like every 5 years, but I talked to the mobility clinic because he was trying to give me a scooter, even though I don't live in a scooter neighborhood. And I said, but I thought you only get something. He goes, no, if you can document the need. So like he was trying to get me this lightweight scooter, just knowing that I'm probably going to need something afterwards, but to just start slow. So you're not like stuck for 5 years with equipment that doesn't work. I have a sweaty question for you, or maybe even an answer for you.
All right.
But yeah, I am one of those women who already went through perimenopause. But I'm not, and that was the only time in my life I had those sweats. But I bought a new bed back whenever I bought a new bed, like 20 years ago or something like that, a little less than that. And
Yeah.
I think it had memory foam on top, and it was hideous. So I don't know if you have that, because it was just hideous. And I was just like sweating. I wasn't even in menopause. I just wake up in a
So
sweat.
hot. So
And then
hot.
I went to a music camp in the Mendocino Woodlands, which is cold, and it's cold. Like
Yeah.
I bring like layers, and I'm freezing, and then I was fine there, and then I come home and again, and so I realized there was this memory foam on top. So do you have that on your bed? Because that's hideous.
No, we don't. But we are due for a new mattress anyway. We've had ours for 6 years now, and the one that we're looking at has that cooling gel
That's
on
what I
top.
was going to recommend. Yeah. And I also find it very strange but true that if I try to think like, oh, I'm going to be hot tonight, let me make the house really cold, that I'll actually be like hotter and more miserable in bed. So trying to
Okay.
counteract it by turning the air conditioning down gives the opposite. That I don't know if that's just me. You guys can chime in, but that's been my experience for me.
Yeah, sometimes it'll get too cold, and I'll have to
Mhm.
like, oh, this one blanket isn't enough. Let's bundle up, and then
And then it's too much,
yeah,
right? So it's like I find it's like a very like has to be
it's a
right.
window.
Yes, it's a
The
very
the
fine line. It has to be not that I'm picky or anything, but it has to be within
same.
like 3 degrees.
Yeah, and like I feel bad because my dogs can't touch me because they are furnaces at night. Like, sorry, buddy, Dad loves you, but get away from me. And
Yep,
sorry, I love you, Melissa, but get away from me.
yep.
I'm also wondering if the shower curtain that you're using to put under you to help prevent sweating on your mattress is maybe retaining some heat too. I
Right.
don't know if maybe getting a different waterproof mattress cover would be helpful too on
Well,
that.
for the last couple of days, I
Hmm.
haven't sweated as much.
That's good.
Yeah, since we started doing the shower curtain. Before
Interesting.
we thought I was almost pulling water or sweat, water, up when I would lay down in bed. Because when I had all those crazy sweats during COVID. So we got it going on. We've been doing some research, but I'll pass stuff along to Melissa, not a problem. Thanks for everyone's help. You put a
I'll give
smile
you
on my
my,
face. I
I'll
love
give you
y'all.
one, John, I'll give you my little bed research that I did quite a while ago when I was looking. I mean, I read everything, and they were like, no, like the memory. So the memory foam, I was able, had the 30-day return or whatever, and
Yeah.
then I got it back. And then I wanted something really soft, and I would read reviews, and they go, no, it's gonna sink, and I'm like, no. And so I switched it with whatever bed in the 30-day thing for like a soft thing on top, and yes, sure enough, it sunk. And they have these ridiculous things. It has to sink like 9 inches. So I had somebody come to my house to do a measurement, and I had a 25-pound accordion that like I left on that in that rivet, because it's almost impossible to get it. To get that 9 inches or whatever, I
Yeah.
left it on there. And then when the guy came, I said, I'll be right there. And I took the accordion off, and he measured. He goes, wow, that really is. So, and they were willing to change it again. And there's all these games, like they're on sale and then they're not on sale or whatever. So here's was my solution. Nobody's ever taken me up on it, and people complain about their beds all the time, especially my old friends, old people. So I just said, look, I want whatever I had, like the firmest thing you have, like the most firm thing that you have. And then I got an organic latex, Talalay latex topper. And oh my God, so and so you don't have to get the most expensive thing. And I think I laid on a $5,000 mattress once, and I was like, okay, my organic latex topper brings me to 95% of that $5,000 bed. I'm good.
Right. Just
You may be
thanks,
able to score some good deals. Black Friday coming up next month for
yeah,
mattresses.
and I totally play the I'm disabled card. If that ever works. Got me a free coffee once at McDonald's. Maybe they just thought I was old. I don't know. Forget it. All right, I'm yielding the floor. I promise. Thank you again, everyone.
Amina, did you want to talk about what you maybe want to talk about?
Yes. Got two quick thoughts. Well, the first thing is a question. Um, my newest symptom, which is not necessarily new, but I'm really like noticing it more in the last few months, is I'm getting like the shakes when I hold stuff and when I'm doing anything, putting on eye makeup, anything, putting on lotion, brushing my teeth. Everything is like a thing now. A lot of those things are like a whole production now. I keep busting my gums while I brush my teeth. And I know that it's something that's affecting me pretty much every day. And I wanted to see if anybody else is dealing with the same kind of symptom and what medication they're taking, and if that medication has any side effects to it.
I definitely
That's
have had
my
the toothbrush problem. I so I can totally empathize with you on that, or sympathize, I
yeah,
should say. Um,
yeah.
Are you sure it isn't one of your meds that's causing the shaking?
No, because it was happening before I began taking my meds.
Okay.
It actually started like 2 years ago when I noticed something different when I was learning to play the piano again. And I
Mhm.
couldn't, it was really, I was very jittery and I really
Mhm.
couldn't tell what that was. So I just kind of stopped learning. And now that I'm just trying to hold a fork and brush my teeth, it's more um pronounced. But
Right.
it's been happening, yeah, since before my medication.
So I
Is it
don't know
equal?
about helping that, but I do find that using an electric toothbrush does help me to not jam my gums that much.
Okay.
yeah, I bought the Sonicare, and
Um,
Okay.
and I like the one that just goes in circles. There was one that was supposed to like bounce and go in circles, and it tickled so bad I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
equal, Amina? Is it equal in both hands? The same shaky? I mean, obviously you use your dominant hand.
Right. Here's the thing. It's different. My right hand is my quote unquote dominant hand, and the left one, it definitely doesn't shake as bad. And the funny part about it is when I was born and I began learning how to write, I was left-handed naturally. And
Mm.
my father, my dad being the cop, the Mr. Know-it-all, he would force me to be right-handed. And it's
Mhm.
crazy that I'm losing my left hand more often now because it shakes less. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
mhm.
How about with your leg? Because I didn't call what I had shaky, but it's just like whatever. But I have
Right.
more paralysis on my right side and in my right leg too. So is it one-sided that you're having, you noticing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the mobility thing, my right leg, my whole right side is a little weaker. And the right leg is definitely more weaker than the left leg.
So that sounds more, like what I've been experiencing since for like quite a while, but let's just say
Okay.
since 2018, even before 2018, when I was like, what's wrong with me? So, yeah, then I had to switch. I don't have, my right hand's no longer my dominant hand.
Okay. Right.
So Louie was put something in chat that he's been getting jitters too in his right arm and hand, and he says it's kind of random, but it's more prominent when he's really exhausted or stressed. Do you find that too? That there's Louie right there. Do you find it is
Definitely.
worse when you're really tired?
No, it gets worse when I'm stressed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when it gets like crazy, where I'm just like dropping stuff and trying to hold a glass of something. It gets crazy. It can get really crazy sometimes. But so I just, and the issue I'm having again is my GP. I love her to death. She's referred me to a neurologist, and I called the neurologist, and they no longer accept my insurance.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's crazy how that keeps happening, and so I'm waiting for her to give me another referral, and so then I was just thinking, well, in the meantime, just ask some people in the group about as far as if they're taking anything for it, or is there anything you can take for the tremors on your hands?
I know a lot of people use like gabapentin for nerve issues,
Right.
and that has a lot, the shaking and stuff like that has a lot to do with your nerves aren't calming down.
Mm,
So, I mean, I don't know. I've only taken gabapentin for my legs, for my lower
yeah,
extremity.
right.
Um, so I don't know how it would work with your upper extremities, like
The
your
hands.
hands and arms and stuff like that.
And that's why you need a neurologist who knows about MS. It's just criminal. And your
And
insurance is, but there's laws, like they need to find a specialist that your health insurance, I don't care if it's with the, Obamacare Florida thing, they need to,
right.
you get referred to a specialist, they need to do it by 3 weeks.
Well, and
I think
I don't know. I don't know if you have entertained just even hopping onto your insurance's website and seeing what providers um, accept their insurance, or you like before they've been a great help. The MS Society, that was one of
okay.
the main questions to me was, do you have a neurologist? And I said, yeah. She's like, okay, if you didn't, I would find one for you.
Mm,
I
You can
was not
also
so
get on the
desperate.
phone yourself and call them directly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that
I
too.
haven't found the MS Society personally because I was struggling with, they just kind of read a script to you and say, oh, well, you can go to Stanford, which is like, well, not with my insurance. I personally, I didn't find it helpful, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but it's just when you think you're going to get an answer and you don't, it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
and I agree with
and
that.
yeah, and the thing about I have Florida Blue, which I guess is the Obama insurance, whatever it is, and it's pretty deplorable the fact that their physician or specialist lists are never up to date. I've sat on the phone with like 20, 30 before I found, my GP now. It's really bad. It's really terrible. And I told her, I said, I really need for you to have my back on this and find me one, because the one that she had found me for initially I was so excited because this was a man that was actually an MS specialist.
In
And I
your town,
remember,
right?
yeah, in my town, and they no longer accept it. So for me to go on the website, I could do it, but the last time I did that, I just got really frustrated and aggravated. And I'm just want to leave it to my doctor to find me another doctor, or
Yep.
maybe I maybe take your advice in going on to the MS Society and see what they can do for me,
Well, they'll
because this
recommend.
whole
Yeah, I mean, they'll recommend that you go to a specialty, the Mayo Clinic or blah, the Mayo Clinic or Stanford or UCSF. They'll just give you advice, you know, and it's just advice that they have to go to which is good advice, but you're in Hudson, Florida. I don't know where you have to go for that. Maybe you have to go to Jacksonville. I don't know, but
yeah. And I need somebody in my insurance. I don't have a job. I don't have any income, so
Well,
I can't just pay out of pocket for things, you know?
you should
well,
be
they
able
have
to
to.
call your insurance company too, and they might be able to help you.
Just call them,
Yep,
right? Okay.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Another thing, I mean, I went through this when I was diagnosed or not diagnosed, when I was misdiagnosed and went through all this stuff. And, you're starting to have a lot of symptoms that I had, and it's just so hard to
Mhm.
figure stuff out on your own. I mean, I even had a
Mhm.
neurologist. I said, "Look, I'm having cognitive." He goes, "Well, I don't see it." And it's like, "Well, you don't see it. It doesn't matter. I'm still having it." And it's just overwhelming to call, to look into, to follow up again. And I just kept calling my doctor like almost every day. I said, "Look, I need a case manager." I couldn't do it. And they said, "We don't have any case managers." So the next day I called, I said, "Okay, I need a social worker. I can't do this." And I was just lucky that she was amazing. And when she called me, I could tell she wanted to tell me how she couldn't help me, because I said, I can't, I need a case manager. And it took me like after a year, I said, "When I called you, I could tell you were going to tell me," because yeah, you said you wanted a case manager, but I mean, I think it would help you a lot if you found, they're not all good. And apparently now the one that's replacing the one who replaced my good one, my doctor said, she's not very good. I don't think you'll like her, but it's worth to, just keep knocking on doors and say, "Well, do you have a
Yeah.
social worker? I have this," especially now. I wouldn't even hang on to what kind of MS I have. "You have MS," and my neurologist said, "It's my MS specialist." She said, "That's manufactured by the drug companies just to, so you can qualify for this drug or that drug, that it's essentially, you know, they keep changing what the things are called, but
Mm.
you're in a hard spot, and yeah, you're not going to
Yeah.
just go out and get a job when you're like, what? How could you go? I had that. Like, how am I going to work? My hand doesn't work. How am I going to?
Mhm.
So I think you need, if and they have to. I don't know. I would just try to keep bugging them and saying, "I need a specialty appointment and it's 3 weeks." I had that with mine, and they're like, "Okay, you can go to Sacramento, 90 miles away." I don't think so, but it's still worth it. And I like what you're saying about your doctor. She's got to step up and find it. I don't know that she will, but I think that's the attitude you have to have.
Right. Right. You're right.
you
So
know,
that's
I'm
that's
I'm frail, I'm disabled, I need help. I'm frail, I'm disabled,
period.
I have a catastrophic neurological disease, I need help. And
Yeah.
it doesn't always work in getting it, but it's hard to admit that to yourself, let alone.
I know, because there's a level of denial that I'm still kind of like existing in. I've had these shakes since probably like April of 2020. And instead of really being conscious of that, I kind of like, not that I ignored it, but I kind of like, didn't want to think about it, because that was like another symptom. Like, really? And so, but
If
anyway, I
only
don't
you
want to
would
go into.
try. If only you would try harder, Amina, you would be
Yeah.
better off, right? It's like the
Yeah.
bullshit you tell yourself. Just you can,
Mm-hmm.
you're bigger than this. You're better than this. It's not. It's just
Oh.
you. You have a problem. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah, sure do. And it wasn't anything that I created, but hey, it's the card that I was dealt, and I need to be present about it all the time so I can healthier mentally about it, I think. But,
Amina,
you know,
Amina, start stacking your deck. You know what I mean? If you get dealt a card, stack the deck in your
stack the deck.
favor. You know, do what you can.
Yeah, you're right. Do what I can.
I mean, I was going to say to reach out to the MS Society because they helped me with half the money for an air conditioner. They're there to help
Oh,
you. And I didn't know if you were on disability insurance. Are you on SS?
I'm no, I'm not. I've applied for Social Security disability, and I'm just pending for uh the results of the case.
Yeah, because
Oh, the
MS,
Yeah.
results of the case from the doctor you can't go see because they don't take your insurance, right? So that case.
Well, right. It's not going to be coming to fruition anytime soon because I don't even have a neurologist yet.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But the case has been started, but that is
But
right
you need
now
a doctor because it's all based on what a doctor says.
right, right. Well, I have a pain management physician that's also working with the case. And yeah, but not a neuro.
Now
Not
you
yet.
need your definitive diagnosis with MS.
And the doctor that I had back in 2010 when I was originally diagnosed, he's no longer in business. His practice closed, and I don't have any of that initial diagnosis documentation. So it's going to be definitely a long ongoing thing for a while.
Right.
But the fact that you put in for it now, even if it takes a long time, they have to give you the back pay. Well, they have to, but I think Christy or someone had an experience where they don't give you the back pay, but hopefully.
Well, and the thing is that when it comes to SSDI, basically the way it was explained to me, because I got approved for SSDI in August. We started it in January. But how I was described everything is that across the board, the first 5 months is no pay. So, I mean, if it takes a while, 5 months is not a big deal. But
Hmm.
in my case, I only got awarded mm, uh, June, July, 3 months of back pay. And when you haven't been working for X
Mm,
amount of months, 3 months is
right,
dismal when you
right.
think you're getting the entire 8 months
Hmm.
that you have been
Chrissy,
without.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was that about 5,300 bucks?
roughly something like that. I can't remember.
I think that's the limit that they'll go back is $5,300. And that's also the maximum that they will allow an attorney to bill you.
Well, I don't know if 5,300 is the max because I have my friend's mom. She went on SSDI. It took them about 2.5 years,
Mm.
and she got awarded like 60 grand or something like that. So I don't know if 5,300 is the max that they'll back pay.
No,
I got a lot more than that too. So it took me 3 months to get on it, but they did give me back pay, and I don't know how long the back pay was, but it was over 25,000.
Yeah. And they go back to when you are first diagnosed as disabled with your condition, whatever it is. So mine went back to December when I first started short-term disability because I couldn't work anymore. Not when I filed my paperwork, because my paperwork didn't get filed until January 4th. So they took it back to the date that I was considered disabled. So, and since there was that 5-month waiting period, out of the 8 months, I only got 3 months of back pay.
Yeah, I'd like to add, make sure that you get a doctor and see a doctor regularly, because when I applied for SSDI, I went through the whole thing for 2 years. I was unemployed, so I didn't have a lot of income, and I didn't have insurance, and I didn't have a way to get insurance. So I stopped seeing my neurologist. I went off of my therapy, and that was the reason that my claim was denied the first time, and then through my appeal. Um, and it wasn't until I did the second go around after that first 2.5 years, I did the second go around, got a different lawyer, and they said, yes, it's super important that you're seeing your doctor regularly and you're on a therapy and all that. And I got my disability approved in like 4 months the second time around, but I didn't get any back pay because for that 2.5 years, because it was a separate case. I had to start all over again. So keep that in mind and try to figure out something for that for sure, because that was like the primary reason the judge denied my case.
And also, I highly advise that you get yourself a disability lawyer.
Yes.
It is very important. I can't stress that enough to anybody who's filing for disability SSDI.
I didn't even apply, I mean, Amina, you are moving. I just didn't work. I had savings and I lived on that for a couple of years because I just couldn't. Something's wrong. It's like there's something wrong with me. There's just something wrong with me. And so I always worked part-time, and I found things that I can do. And I'd say from 2010 till I turned 65 plus, whenever. No, until I turned like 66, until I can claim Social Security. I just was on unemployment, off of it, on it, off it, using my own money. And it's just, you get dismissed, oh, well, you just imagine, oh, well, gosh, you have pain. Huh, we know what that's about. You just want drugs. I mean, that's not my story, but I can imagine that would be, that's just the thing. And you have to just, whether it's not your fault, whether you got diagnosed and the doctor's not in business or whatever, you need help.
Yeah.
You need help.
Period.
You need professional help. I was just looking up Florida Blue because I was trying to figure out, because I work for health insurance, so I kind of know a little bit about it. And when Obamacare came out, I really studied it with some friends and just looked into it. So I can give you my contact if you want me to. I'm a good detective especially since it doesn't have to do with me. I'm a good advocate for myself, but then you're like, I can't deal with this.
Totally.
I'm going to put it, I'll just send you a private, you can contact me if.
Okay, thank you.
I'm starting to look. It's already, right? The wheels are turning in my head, so I already know.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I hope, okay, so the gabapentin, I started off at 100 milligrams a day, and it got the edge off. I mean, it got a good amount of the neuropathy, but it wasn't totally, it wasn't getting a majority of the pain away. And so when I went back to the doctor, he upped my dosage, and he upped it to 300 3 times a day. So I have 3 pills taking 300 milligrams 3 times a day. And I can't even get to the third pill because I'm so sleepy from the 2. And I hope that if I can get to the third, maybe it'll help with my hands a little bit. That'd be nice to think that would happen. But it's such a sleepy kind of drug that I can't even make it to the full prescription. But my
Talk
pain
to your
is
doctor
gone.
about that.
I Not him. I'm starting a new pain management because the guy that I was going to, I was paying out of pocket for it. And I don't have, like I said, I don't have any income. So the new doctor, he's in my network, and I see him in a couple of weeks. And I can probably just tell him to take it down for me. Maybe. I don't know. I've gone ever since my diagnosis. I've never taken really any prescriptions for anything. And I remember taking prednisone when I was very initially first diagnosed, but I've never taken like pills and stuff since then. And I just want to tread lightly with the pain pills. But I also I have a lot of gratitude because the neuropathy that I feel is like 90% gone with the gabapentin. I just want to tread lightly because I've seen how these pills, people can get addicted and, stuff like that. But anyway, I don't mean to talk about that, but yeah.
Well, you should also bring these concerns to your doctor as well, and
Yeah.
your doctor can tell you the addictive qualities of the drugs that he is giving you. Not all drugs are. Like I really can't talk for gabapentin. I've taken it. It didn't do anything for me because it wasn't neurological pain.
Okay.
Anyway, talk to the doctor or the pharmacist. You can always call the pharmacist.
Oh yeah, that's always a good resource.
Okay.
You got one right here. Her name's Kim.
Kim is outdated over 6 years ago, guys. I am old. I remember in school they said in 5 years your knowledge is either wrong or out of date. Like it was, and it's really true. Like when I was in the field, it changed so much, which I loved. I loved that it wasn't stale and stagnant. But now I can't even. I had to let it go because it was so hard because it really showed my cognitive deficit. Deep dive into like I used to do what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I can tell you like gabapentin is definitely like for me personally, makes me hit the floor. Like you think Benadryl is sleepy? Oh no, gabapentin.
Yeah.
And I did go back. I did get it recently. I've only used it once because I'm like, well, I'm having these foot nerve pain, especially in the morning. If I take it at night, can we do a twofer where it helps me sleep and then maybe still get my system long enough that it helps me out in the morning? Because I'm like, I can't take it during the day because I'll just be zombie on the floor. And that's not really a good living situation for me. And I know that I had a deep discussion with my neurologist 2 weeks ago about that. And there were other drugs he was interested in doing, not just gabapentin, but like maybe he was really into like nortriptyline. And I don't know. So my stuff hasn't been terrible enough to like I really have to work on it. Like I need to do something about it. But man, a couple weeks ago when I was doing yoga, I was like, yow, like that was painful on my feet. Like, whoa, like that's gonna be a problem. Sometimes walking in the morning with my dog, I'm just like, oh wow. And I like I tell the neurologist, like if I did not have MS, I would go to my PCP and go, I injured my feet. I don't know what I did, but I did something to my foot, especially my right foot. But since I have MS, I'm like, yeah, this is my first rodeo with this stuff. So I think the best thing is having a good relationship with your doctor, which is really hard when you're having insurance issues. That makes it really frustrating, and nothing will frustrate you more than insurance issues.
Right.
But your pharmacist is a good resource. It's just the problem right now is just everything is just so, especially since the pandemic, everything is so stretched thin in healthcare. I don't know if you guys go to your pharmacies lately. They have like weird hours. You show up, there's no one there, and it's just really kind of fallen off the boat. So, I mean, they'll help you as much as they can, but they're a great resource. You know, you were talking about tremors. Tremors is a side effect of gabapentin. I don't know if it increased when you increased your dose or not. I know we were talking about how you've had them in the past when I was talking to my neurologist, obviously different symptom as yours, but I was talking about my foot pain. He's like, yeah, well, the lesions as they, age and get old, sometimes the symptoms get worse. So he wasn't alarmed by that at all. Cause like, no, you have these lesions still exist. It made complete sense in his brain why I had the symptoms and why they were worsening. So he's like, yeah, those lesion is aging.
Look up the leaky pool syndrome. That'll explain your cognitive reserve and why your symptoms get worse as you age, because your cognitive reserve lessens as you age. And so they tell it a lot better, but they use a leaky pool to explain it.
Amina, I want to make a suggestion for you that you might want to run past your doc, especially if you don't like using prescription meds. But I've mentioned this on here before, but vitamin B6 can really help with neuropathy. I just got off my last meeting was a prostate cancer meeting, and there were some guys on chemo, and they're using B6 and it's helping them. Now, I've used B6. I use B6 myself. I was left with pretty uncomfortable neuropathy from my cancer treatment. And I couldn't find anything. I've used gabapentin. I would take gabapentin when I was basically in crisis, and it sort of helped. But somebody mentioned to me B6, and I've been taking it regularly now for about a year, and it's really helped. And interestingly, I was told I had to stop it recently because I got a new hip, and I was told to stop it before the new hip. And wouldn't you know, within 2 weeks after I stopped it, I was getting neuropathy at night in my feet, bad enough to wake me up. And since I restarted the B6, I'm doing great. Now, I only take one a day, but some of our guys are taking 3 a day per their doctors. So, you can check with your doc. You can take pretty high doses of B6, but you might find that, and you just get it at the drugstore. I get mine at CVS. You just get it at the drugstore, but you might find that B6 works as well as gabapentin, and it's not a prescription drug. So I don't know if anybody else in the group has had experience using B6, but for me, it's great, and I know a bunch of other people it's worked for.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I'm definitely going to look into that.
And I don't
Yeah.
remember if it was B6, but I know when I was diagnosed, they told me my B vitamins were low. So I've been on a B complex ever since. And I also wanted to
Mm.
mention that I put a link in the chat to the linking swimming pool theory.
Kim, do you know anything about B6?
I used to could. I just it's a water soluble vitamin, so you're less likely to worry about overdoses because what your body doesn't use, it'll just flush you out. So
It's important for normal brain development and keeping the nervous system and immune system healthy.
And I know that's one of the I mean, like, obviously everyone knows that MS, they always want you to do the vitamin D, you know, the sunshine. That's always the one they tout. That's their big one. But there's other stuff. A lot of doctors aren't trained in supplements and stuff like that, so they don't have a lot of knowledge on it. It's not normal in their education. It's very, very little
Well,
learning
there's
about.
not a lot of research on it either, I don't think.
No, there's not a whole lot of research either, but it depends on what you're comfortable with. I mean, there's lots of alternative medicine. There's lots of people out there, different types of doctors. Totally blanking on. I want to say naturopath. Like that's kind of one. Like there's a lot of them that do specialize in stuff like that actually have more knowledge. But yeah, it's a very interesting topic where you have conventional medicine and then you have other medicine. Like one of the things that go ahead.
Complementary Eastern medicine, those types of things you're
Alternative,
talking
about? Yeah. Like one of the things I got into earlier this year was reflexology for my neuropathic pain. And the thing that really surprised me the first time I did it, it really helped me with my hot flashes. I'm like, what did you do? Because I'm not having these issues like I did. I just was really shocked like the first time. And when she actually would do stuff, like I could feel it go up my leg, like the nerve. It wasn't painful at all, but you could feel like this tingling going up my leg and stuff. And it was just very interesting. But if you asked me 15 years ago about that, I might have been like, eh. And now I'm just like, if I don't feel like it's something that's going to be harmful to me and it's something I have money to put towards, sure, why not? And this gal came highly recommended to me, so that's why
I had a very similar acupuncture experience just this summer, and it's too bad John isn't here to hear us say this with the sweating.
But that stuff's not always covered by, a lot of that's not covered by insurance.
True.
It's self-pay, and that's just like, that's the hard thing with dealing with MS. It's like you have all these people and companies and people say, you know, I have this, you know, this thing may or may not help. And usually that type of treatment can be cheap, like Rick, vitamin B6, very cheap over the counter, or it can be very expensive where it can cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So,
is it easy to find B6? Because I remember last time I was looking for my vitamin D, whatever, some guy
let me type
was
in
looking for
the
a B
actual
something, and we couldn't find it anywhere. And you know,
Yeah.
some reason.
Let me type the name, the actual name of it.
So, I mean, you should be able to find, I get my B6 at CVS, but you can get it at CVS, at Walgreens. I mean, it should be very easy to
The
find.
grocery outlet, I go cheap.
I don't know. I've never looked for it in a Safeway or somewhere like that, but certainly in the drugstores.
They have all that by the pharmacy.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I would suggest it. A couple of things I just wanted to say. So at AnCan generally, we are very much in favor of complementary medicine. We're not so in favor of alternative medicine. The difference between complementary and alternative is that complementary complements the allopathic medicine that most people here are on. So Chinese medicine would be complementary. What we don't endorse is alternative medicine, where you're looking solely at something that ignores the allopathic medicine, the allopathic cures. So I just wanted to be clear on that, and taking vitamins and seeing acupuncturists or what have you, that's all complementary. I mean, I just had a guy tell us that he's getting acupuncture and he's on hormone therapy, so he has no testosterone in his body. It's doing wonders for the hot sweats, but it's not doing anything for the neuropathy. But you know, we know acupuncture can be great for eliminating hot sweats, and that's documented, and there are trials on that to verify that. So I would say that I should mention, we also say that if you're going to do complementary medicine, make sure you let your doctors know. Just tell them. Because there are some vitamins that don't
They interact with your
jive with the drugs you're taking. Yeah. And we may not know that, but the doctors know that. So you have to be really careful. The
And
other
they can
thing,
order labs, you know, because I get my B12 and my vitamin D monitored pretty
right,
regularly. And
right,
something else,
especially
I
vitamin
forgot. There's
D.
something else I was supposed to get, which reminds me tomorrow to go
I
get a
mean,
blood draw. I forgot what they want.
Vitamin D is a big one. I know that for cancer, and for me, it was vitamin D hydroxy 25 that I needed to measure. And I was very, very low when I was diagnosed. I just took large amounts until I got myself up to a regular level. And then I maintained on that regular level. You know, and then there are other things too. And on that score, I wanted to ask Mr. Pettipool, have you had any physical therapy yet? Because I know you were trying to get some physical therapy. How are you doing with your physical therapy?
Yes, Rick, I did. I've been a few times. I was away last week, but I met with Angelica and another woman there, and I think it's going to help.
Well, you know, I think so. I mean, I recommended a physical therapist to Mike. It's the physical therapist who's helping me rehab my hip, and I thought she was pretty good, but I'm only one person, so I don't know how she's doing with Mike. So I was curious to find out. But physical therapy can be very helpful sometimes.
I agree with you, Rick. We'll have to see.
Okay. She had me trying to balance. She had me trying to balance on Friday, man, and I have no balance at all, none. So
I wouldn't think you're unbalanced, Rick. There's nothing about you that seems unbalanced.
oh my God, I cannot stand on one foot. I mean, I think the cancer really screwed up my balance badly, and the funny thing is that when I'm, you know, if I'm rowing in my little scull, which is 11 inches wide, sitting down, I balance fine. But I can't balance on 2 feet. It's a problem. It's a problem. Walk into walls and cannot do it.
I had some friends visit me this weekend, and so we were walking just a couple blocks up the road to go to the beach, and I cannot walk in a straight line. And so I just kind of cross the street. I just kind of wander back and forth. And my one friend is used to that with me, and there were two others that were with us that are not used to that. And I tried to warn them. I was like, "Forgive me, I'm gonna wander the street," and they just kind of looked like, "Okay, Andrea, whatever." Anyway, then they started making fun of me as I wandered back and forth, and I kept bumping into people. So it was like turned into a pinball game, but um,
I
Well,
do
I
the,
was the
I
same
do the
way.
side step pretty good. The side step,
Yeah.
mhm.
at it.
Yeah. I was the same way. And to new people that I would meet, they'd always ask the people that knew me, they're like, is she drunk?
Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, she doesn't even drink. What are you talking about? I couldn't, I can't, when I was walking, I couldn't walk a straight line. So I was telling my sister, who's a police officer, I was like, heaven forbid I ever get pulled over and they suspect that I'm driving drunk.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we used to joke about that we needed an identification card in case we got pulled over. But really, you just tell the cop, and then if they're really
Yeah.
jerks about it, you just go to
Well,
court.
but then they can report you to the I decided I wanted to get real ID. I got my driver's license renewed like just 2020 during COVID, so they did it online. And if you do it before you're 70, and it was like I did it like 2 weeks before I was 70, and then I don't have real ID, so if I want to fly or do anything like that, and then I decided I should do it. I want to while I can. I wanted, so I have to go to the DMV, and I put in all my stuff, and then I was thinking, well, if they see me with a walker, they might ask me what it is. And then I started practicing in my house because yesterday I felt good. I was like, maybe I can walk in, or maybe I should go with a friend and hold on to her arm. And, I can't walk a straight line. I look much worse without my walker. So I'm
Yep.
scheming in my mind that if they say something that, I think I can stand. So that part I can do. I can't walk. So when I stand, people think I'm fine because I can stand. I take a shower at the pool. I can talk to people. I'm good as long as I'm standing. So I'm strategizing. Well, when I go to the DMV, what if they say something? What am I going to do? So I decided I need to use the walker, that I look much better with the walker. And then I thought, well, maybe I can have my friend use the walker. And then I decided I'm going to call my walker an emotional support. If somebody asks me, why are you doing it? And I'm going to say, for emotional support. Have you ever been to the DMV? That is like the most hated experience. So I have my food in here, my own seat. It's just my emotional support. So,
Well, I
and
don't.
then
I'm
and then
very
I'll be able to do, and also I'm going to have to sign, and my right hand is so weak, I haven't
But
been able to use it. But I went for a massage yesterday. I had like a couple of things. Well, I didn't get to do my share, so I'm gonna have to wait till next time. But I was very stressed out about some things, and I really thought I was deteriorating just from stress. Like how much stress can, and it's like, look, I don't need that meditation app. I don't need all this other stuff. I can't walk. I used to walk. I used to dance. I mean, there's so many things I used to do to relieve my stress, and they don't exist anymore for me. So maybe next time I can bring that up, because I think it's relevant to everything people were bringing up today, that it's really, everybody knows they're not supposed to be stressed, but when you have MS and you can't do the things you used to be able to do to relieve your stress, it's not helpful. And you don't have the cognitive to do, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to let this bother me. Easy,
can you
easy enough to say.
can you still dance, Karen?
No. I had a dance practice that was also like emotional thing, and no. And then I was able to do it a little bit online, but that's a whole other drama and stupid thing that I can't even begin to address. But yeah. My emotional support. I mean, I'm surprised how much I rely on my walker. Like happily rely on my walker. Like
So
I wouldn't
why
have my
why
walker.
are you worried about taking your walker into the DMV? That has
Oh, I
nothing to
think
do with your
because
ability to
they
drive.
did say, have you had a diagnosis in the last 3 years that would affect your driving? No.
Well, that's
I,
true. You have not.
and well, it's not entirely true, but no, I have not, because I think Elizabeth, who's like way younger than me, went in with a cane and they wanted to know why, and then she had to do all this whatever. But I just
California DMV,
decided I'm going to do it. Huh?
California DMV pulled my driver's license because I had a cane and I had MS.
Oh,
Really?
I had to go back and retest completely, and it took them 6 months to get it done.
oh, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but I can't.
Just
You
don't
mean,
tell
so
them
what did you tell them when they said you have a cane? Why do you have a cane?
I hurt my hip
Uh-huh. So then how'd they know you had MS?
because I was stupid, and that was a long time ago, and I said I have MS.
Oh, see, you once said they don't care.
No, they care.
Well, but I have disabled plates. Nobody asked me why do I have disabled plates.
Right. That's kind of where my questioning is coming from.
I mean,
But
I don't just have a disabled placard, I have disabled plates.
you can have disabled plates for something besides a neurological condition.
Uh-huh.
They're only after people that have neurological conditions.
Well, that wouldn't be me.
This is news to me. I'm going to have to concern myself about this. Wow.
And that's a good question to ask your neurologist, honestly, because I know that people have seizures, they will not let you drive unless you're seizure free for so many months. But I wouldn't know it would be technically all neurological diseases, or they're very I don't know. That's a great neurologist question.
Well, and I also have a lot of doctors. I mean, it's kind of surprised me that with all the doctors that I've had, the neurologist, my PCP, all my physical therapists, none of them have questioned my driving. And I think they just figure my judgment is good enough that if I couldn't drive, I wouldn't. And yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
I was
surprised.
completely blind in my left eye, and nobody ever told me not to drive.
And now I have two. Yeah, somebody asked me about my vision, and it was like, oh, yesterday it was at another MS thing, but I could see two moons with my left eye, and someone said, "Did you see the harvest moon?" And I could see two moons with my left eye.
Yes,
My
they
right
were
eye sees
beautiful.
one. No, they're not. I mean, it's a problem. That's kind of why I wanted to get that taken care of, now. And then I was going to I wasn't going to do it, and I was just going to renew my passport. And then it turns out, well, once you renew your passport, you got to wait for however long the government might take to, and it could take a long time, sorry, due to our inefficiency.
Oh, since COVID. I think they've gotten a lot better. It usually
No,
takes
now they
about
have it online. So they opened it up in August, and then it closed. And then I thought, well, let me do that. And then they said, not that I'm going anywhere, but I just don't want to have that option closed to me.
right.
And then they said, as soon as you apply, your old passport doesn't work.
I was going to mention back to circling around with the driver's license. I mean, I have friends in Des Moines that have gotten handheld,
Yeah.
getting the handheld controls and stuff, and they didn't pull their.
Yeah,
I mean, they obviously have MS. They're obviously affected. They can't use their
yeah,
right
but they
foot
did.
to use the brake
Yeah,
or
but
accelerator.
they went through whatever. They went through the certification process and all that. Because of my cognitive and all that, it's like I don't want to be challenged. Frank, I don't know when you did it, but I'm sure you wouldn't want to do it now at your age. Can't hear. You're muted.
No, I'm not.
Frank's muted.
Frank's muted. I'm not muted.
No, but Frank was talking.
I wouldn't want to try to do it now.
No.
I wouldn't now.
Yeah.
Mm.
But at 70 something years old, I'm fine.
Are you still driving?
Oh heavens no, I haven't driven for 15 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, and I'm driving with my left foot, so that's given me a lot of freedom. But
Do they make extenders for that, Karen?
for what?
Like, so you can drive with your left foot easier than your right, because obviously the pedals are designed for your right feet. I'm just curious, like, even if someone, like, for example, who is an amputee and only has a left leg, do you think they would have something that they could
Yeah,
modify
they
it
do.
easily
I
for
don't
them to
think,
drive?
no,
You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying? Like,
think
I feel like there should be something available.
there is. I don't think I know. It's called a left foot accelerator. And, I looked into that. I waited too long. That's why, like Amina, I'm like, push you, like, yeah, you have to keep doing, there's just two things that, like, I almost waited too long on a bunch of things, but I realized, no, I'm getting it. There's just a constant thing. But, yeah, because December last year was getting really hard for me to drive, and I was using 2 feet, and I was braking with my left foot, and then yeah, there was a place I was going to go to, but then they closed down, and then it became COVID, so that didn't happen. Then there's another place. It's $3,000 to get a left foot accelerator, and you have to go through a special OT. You got to get a referral, and you got to go through all that. And during COVID, like how would you even do it if you could afford to pay for all that? So then I just went online, and it's from the Midwest. You people in the Midwest, there was some guy who had a stroke, and I think he's in Indiana. Some guy had a stroke, and he built his own. He like gets it manufactured in Indiana, and it was $325, and it's portable, and you can move it from car to car, and you don't have to get anything, and you don't have to do anything special. So
left hand accelerator.
no, it's not a hand, it's a left foot accelerator, because
Oh, I'm sorry, foot
I was driving
accelerator. Okay.
2-footed. It's not illegal to drive 2-footed. You can drive with your right foot, but it's getting harder for me to lift my right leg. So, and then even the two, it's like my abdomen was hurting. It was hard to do. I would really go. I don't go that far, but I would even like more than 2 miles was hard for me. And
Mm.
I called the guy, and I talked, and he called me back because he's in the Midwest and he's an old guy. And he called me back on the phone, and we talked about it. And I said, well, I heard it doesn't work in the Prius. He goes, I don't know. We don't have too many Priuses here, but I sell a lot of them. And boy, has that changed my life. So it just put it on the floor, and it just
Awesome.
pushes. It has an arm. I mean, you can look it up. And I decided to go with that one as opposed to, say, one from China that might be a little cheaper. But, I felt like, no, this is, American made. And so you just push on it, and it pushes. And I think they do make extensions. Like, let's just say I only had a left foot and I was a dwarf or something, right? Or a little, didn't have, you can add something to it. Now I don't know. I was like going, all right, tomorrow I'm going to go to the DMV. Well, I don't have a problem telling a fib.
I don't know what my friends did if they got a referral through their doctor to get the hand controls, because they had to go to a special gentleman.
No, that they had to get a referral. They had to go through training. They had to get certified.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, you've been beneficial for hand controls, and then they had to do training. Yeah, they had to do that and modify their car.
Yeah, but when you're my age and Frank's age, and you've got all this other cognitive stuff that Andrea's like your swimming pool's leaking and everything else, the last thing you want to do is, gosh, I mean, I can't even. I was looking up Amina, you're Florida Blue. It's like I look your zip code, and then it just kept saying, give us your zip code. Give us your zip code. I did.
Yeah.
Like things like that for me. The real ID. I put in all this information, and I went through it 3 times, and I'm not a Luddite, and I'm not that stupid. But then it said real ID compliant. I don't know what that meant. I put it in 3 times. Then so finally I said no, and they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll put your application through now. It's like, I mean, it wasn't obvious to me.
I can relate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Just bureaucracy in general doesn't have to make sense, whether you have cognitive issues or not.
No, I know. That's why I wrote a piece called The Ludicrousity of Bureaucracy. And sometimes I read sections of it to the people on the phone at Kaiser. And yeah, well, Rick's not here because, he was trying to get me to do that solo arts heel. And I had but then he handed it off to someone else. And I wrote the ludicrosity, and I wrote about what the piece is. And the guy who runs the program is like, I don't understand how that would be relevant to our audience. It's like, really? And it was tax season. It's like, really? You think nobody has had the ludicrousity of bureaucracy that they have to throw their phone down and throw a rock at their computer? Just me. Just me. Just people with
No.
MS. Like, right?
Speaking of Solo Arts Heal, Rick did put into the chat the link to Hannah's Solo Arts Heal performance that she had a couple weeks ago when Rick was interviewing her while she was working on a painting.
I saw it. Did
I
anybody
check
else
that
see
out.
it? Did anybody see it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. Was it?
I went there. Don't quote me. They're not here. You know, it was. It's like it was the day
We're
after.
still recording.
No, then don't. Oh, why didn't you stop the recording?
Because we were talking.
Oh, well, you should stop the recording.
I can stop it.